I knew if I didn't eat something, I was gonna be cranky in this video. I love this drink. It's the fact that it's sparkling flavored water is everything, and it's only 5 calories. My roommate got me onto that, and I've been obsessed with it. Every time you could find them at Walmart, but every time I'm at Walmart, I like buy them in bulk, and it's been a life changer if you want to stay away from juice and other stuff like that. But anywho, what is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Unhinged Diaries podcast. In today's episode slash diary entry, we're going to be talking about depression in our 20s. And I've been really struggling this week on what I wanted today's episode to be. And I was like struggling with pop culture topics. I'm like, everything I feel like everyone's talked about and nothing's gravitating towards me. Because when it comes to my podcast episodes, I like for something to gravitate towards me so it will feel easier to go through with, you know. Whereas if it's like a popular topic and I don't want to talk about it, you're not gonna be entertained by me because you're gonna be like, this bitch is just so boring and she literally it sounds like and feels like she's reading through a script rather than like me being actually passionate and you can see me making my little jokey jokes and shit like that, you know. Today's episode, I wanted to be a sit down, like vulnerable episode like my other ones would be. Because I feel like I connect with you more on that. And not only that, but like I miss making those episodes, like really sitting down and being vulnerable. Because it does feel good when someone else is going. It doesn't feel good that someone else is going through that because I hate that you're going through the same thing. But it just feels relieving knowing that I'm not the only one, you know? So before we get into all of that, you already know how I like to go through with my podcast episodes for my continuing listeners or viewers. I like to talk about one positive thing. I say one, but 9 times out of 10, it's a million. And then a million negative things, if there is, that happened to me during the week. So, positive thing, I did my lingerie Valentine's Day photo shoot and it was so much fun. At first, I lost hope because I was very insecure. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't feel like I didn't lose enough weight for me to feel as confident. But me and my roommate and my cousin, like they were helping me with poses and all that. And it was just so much fun. I have it posted on my Instagram and on my OF. Yes, I did start my OF, and honestly, I've been contemplating if I should still go through with like keeping up with it, because oh my goodness, like I did not understand how much commitment goes into having an OF. Like a lot of people think like, oh my God, I'm like showing like whatever. Like for me, like I'm literally doing what I was doing for free. Like I was literally posting all the time on my Instagram stories, like me and my little thong or whatever. And like I would always do that for free. So I'm literally just having it behind a paywall now. It's just more like I had to like be consistent. Like I had this one guy who was just like, oh, like send me a picture, and I sent him a picture, and then like he kept tipping me. Like within 5 minutes he already made $50. Like he was just tipping me, and I'm like, damn, if I really want to make good money, like to the point where I can have all my bills paid, I had to be consistent on there all day. And I just don't have that time. So I'm like, fuck, I need someone to manage my damn OF for me. Because shit, I feel like a lot of these girls that are so busy and popping, like Tana Mojo and all these other creators, they have a whole team of people helping them. So I feel like that's why they're going through with that. And it's like not as difficult. Whereas for me, I'm a one-man show. I'm doing my podcast by myself, my OF, my TikTok, like all of this is by myself. So it's overwhelming. Like it really is. And I've seen money so far, like pretty good money. And I'm like, damn, if I'm more consistent on there, rent could be paid. Rent could be paid. And I'm like, damn. So I don't know. I might have to accept the fact that I'm either, if I stay on it, I have to be a little inconsistent or like not be on it at all. I don't know. It is a bit nerve-wracking when I post on there because I have been like, I don't know. My best friend, I love her, but she was like, Ali, you're really on OF. Like, come on, why? And I'm like, don't judge me. She's like, I'm not. It's just, it's the mother in me. Like, are you okay with doing this? Are you okay with that being on the internet? I'm like, I'm okay with it. It's just more like it getting back to my parents, and the judgment of that is scary. So I don't know. It's a lot that goes into it. I'm not doing anything crazy on OF, but like still, even if it's just like my little spicy poses and my spicy pictures, is still like something, you know. But another thing that's made me incredibly uncomfortable, and I am going to talk about it on this damn podcast, is why the fuck did my ex's best friend's dad follow me on my OF? Which don't get me wrong, if you're gonna do that and show my pictures off, that's fucking crazy and pathetic. But at least tip me, okay? At least tip me. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. Like, I don't trust anybody. So I'm like, are you purchasing me because you actually want to see my content and whatever support, or are you being nosy and showing my pictures off? I don't know. I literally gotta make a whole podcast episode about my breakup and how chaotic it was for y'all to understand the context of why this is disgusting, you know. And I've been really withholding talking about it. Like, I think I talked about it a little bit on how to make heartbreak your bitch. That episode, I talked about a little bit about my breakup or overcoming it, but like actually talking about the breakup, y'all gonna be so shook. You're gonna probably be like, Ali, we need to have our pitchforks come crazy for these people because they're horrible. And it's like, I don't know, but I just found that really interesting that he purchased my content. I don't know. We're getting off track. So yeah, that was like the most positive thing that happened to me this week. I did get my first check from TikTok, so I'm really happy about that. I'm like, oh, my next one, it's really nice. She's really, really lovely. Like, a lot of my bills will be covered and paid, and I could treat myself a little bit. Like, it's really, really nice, and I'm happy. And I literally it's literally on my vision board where I want to make money being myself. Like, I want multiple sources of income this year, and I'm on February, and the fact that I'm already achieving that is just so, like, I'm blessed. Like, I truly am. So that's really positive, and I'm really happy with that. And my biggest goal is to end up making money through this podcast, because once I do that, I will literally cry, because this podcast, girl, people who like stick around to the end or whenever, like from the beginning all the way until I really make it, y'all gonna be like, this bitch was in her car at one point with them little cheap ass little mics, like not even knowing what the foundation of this podcast was gonna be. Like, she was just going with the flow, and then y'all's gonna see me pop off. It's gonna be like a journey, and it'll be way more relieving, you know. I feel like this generation is obsessed with quick gratification, but when you really work so hard for something, you get it. It's like you will like feel so much more rewarded, you know. Like, I've been wanting for TikTok for a hot minute to make money off of it, like really good money. So I'm glad that I'm doing that now. That is an accomplishment. And OF is like a quick gratification, like if I want quick money, whatever. But my podcast, like my passion, this is my baby. Like, that's just like, that's different. But yeah, like, this is literally my baby, and I just cannot wait until it grows to the point where I could really start making money off of it, and I create a bigger community here, because that's really what I'm manifesting this year. Like, people want like the clout and the followers and stuff like that, but for me, I just want the community. People, we could all vibe, and we could all be friends and be there for each other, and that's all I ever want. Like, on TikTok, when I first started blowing up and I bet the little community, we like catching up and talking tea with each other. That's what I love so much. So I want something like that over here, you know. And I dropped my drink. So now, with the negative thing that happened to me this week, was I was very inconsistent with my goals, I guess you could say. Like, I have not gone to the gym at all this week, but then again, I'm showing myself grace. I've been so busy, like with the photo shoot and having it all posted on Instagram and having it on OF. And of course, like, my big goal on even doing these lingerie photo shoots on Instagram is the fact that I want to get sponsored by a big brand. So there's that, along with the fact that, like, just trying to manage everything like that on your own is hard. And even trying to do this podcast, I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know if I'm going to have an episode this week. But I'm like, no, bitch. Ever since I started this podcast, I'm like, we're not going to miss a week. And I think only once truly I missed a week. So I'm like, that would never happen again. I felt so disappointed in myself. I'm like, no, it's not that damn hard to like not post a podcast episode on here. Like, really, like, I could literally make this 20 minutes and then boom, there you go. It might not be the best, but there's no excuse to not have something uploaded, you know. And the fact that I love to talk, it's like, bitch, you're having fun. Like, you can enjoy yourself with one little topic. So yeah, that's why I don't know how the hell, bitch, it's Thursdays, I'm filming. It's just, I don't know how the hell we're gonna do it, but bitch, we're gonna do it, okay? God is gonna take the wheel and we're gonna do it, okay? So yeah, that's the really rough thing that happened to me this week, was the fact that happy late Valentine's Day to all my people out there. I fucking hated seeing all the couples, because I'm like, fuck y'all. I really want to boo. I really do want to boo. So just seeing that. But my goal was, after Valentine's Day, like, what I love to do is get a bunch of like candy, since everything is, you know, on sale, and just watch a bunch of rom-coms and just spend my day as that. And that was supposed to be the day as I'm filming this, you know, it's the day after Valentine's Day. And I really wanted to do that today, but I literally slept through the entire day because I was exhausted. This whole week I've just been exhausted. So I'm like, damn, like, ugh. Like, this is not it. Like, I had so many things I had to do. I wanted to go to the gym at least. I didn't even like make myself a meal, hence why I was eating my popcorn in the beginning of the video. Like, I need to eat something. So it's just been a little rough, like trying to like adjust to everything again. Because last week I was just like crazy. I was working out like a dog for my photo shoot while fasting, the 2 days prior my photo shoot, while also making my meals. I was posting on TikTok. Like, it was a lot. Like, my life, it's a lot. And it's all about time management and trying to figure everything out, failing a couple of times until I get to the groove of things. And that's the one thing I've been trying to get comfortable with again. It's just, you know what, like, this week was not the best week, in regards to, productivity. But you know what, we could just like get back up, dust off the dirt on our fucking feet or whatever, knees, whatever the hell the saying is, and just get back up. Hopefully next week is going to be a better week where it just won't be as bad. And yeah, another positive, I forgot, like, the other positive thing I forgot to add was the fact that tomorrow I have a dick appointment. And I'm so happy. It's literally the last guy I hooked up with. He's so chill. One thing I do like about him is the fact that we'll talk, like, when he came over the last time we hooked up, we talked for 3 hours until we hooked up. And it was intimate, and I felt like none of my boundaries were being crossed. I felt completely comfortable compared to, like, my situationship I was in. It was like I felt uncomfortable, and it was just not my vibe. Whereas this, I feel so completely comfortable. We don't talk every single day, and I don't feel like that craving too. And we like live our lives, but we still talk here and there and a kiki here and there. So I'm really excited. I got the girly wax. I got my toes done. My legs are nice and shaved. I was gonna wax my legs, but that was just way too much work and a waste of wax where I could use it on my underarms and shit. So yeah, I'm all good and prepared for tomorrow. So I'm really excited with that. And yeah, like, this week wasn't horrible. It was just, I feel guilty for not following through with the things I need to follow through with, like my routine and my goals and my normal things that I have to do. I haven't been consistent with it, but I'm showing myself grace in the fact that, like, you just have to fall and get back up. Like, you're gonna just have those weeks, and I had to show myself grace with that. Like, there was times I will beat myself up so badly, and I'm like, no, Allie, like, it just happens. You're gonna have a bad week, as long as I didn't fall apart to the point where, like, I haven't done anything. Like, at least I'm doing this podcast. At least I posted, my OF content. I've been posting on my I didn't think I posted at all really on my TikTok this week, but I've been doing some things. I posted on my Instagram my lingerie photos. Like, I've been doing something. If I was just laying in bed, then that kind of is like, girl, do something. Now, with all of that being said, now let's get into today's diary entry, which is depression in your 20s. Now, if you're wondering what inspired this podcast episode, because if you've been sticking around or listening for a while now, you would know that 9 times out of 10, I'm inspired by something, or like something inspires me to make an episode each week. Because sometimes, like, especially in the beginning of my podcast, I didn't have a set stone of what I wanted this podcast to represent, what genre it was going to be. It was going to cater to, like, the audience I'm looking for. I knew it was going to be diary entry based, where I'm just going through what's, like, I just want to rant, talk what's on my mind, whether it's, pop culture, the struggle being in your 20s, dating, all of that. I just didn't know it was going to be. And I don't really feel like I have a niche, if I'm being quite honest, when it comes to this podcast. But I do feel like I'm consistent in the fact that, like, I talk about what's on my mind. And I make episodes that are inspired by whatever happened. So this week, what inspired this episode was, I had a specific coworker that works from another shift that has been working my shift. And we've been having, like, really cool, deep conversations. Like, we were just talking about, like, our daily like, random things, but it got to the point where he was like, Allie, you're making me reevaluate my life. Like, you're so disciplined. How? Like, he's like, because we're talking about, like, procrastinating, how there's so much going on at this age. Like, we were even talking about dating. He's like, it's so hard to even try and find love now because everyone's, like, on their game where they're trying to get their shit together while also trying to have a social life, trying to, like, whatever. Like, there's just so much in your 20s. It is a difficult time. Like, it's really, like, it's a really, really, they need to make a guide for us out there because it's difficult. But we were talking about, like, procrastination. He's like, there's times where I work 3:30 to 11:30, and he was like, I work 3:30 to 11:30, And there's times I'll stay up until like 4 in the morning. And then when I sleep afterwards, I'll wake up around the time where I have to get ready for work. And then there you go. That's my day. My day's literally just at work. And I'm like, that's literally what happened with me. And it doesn't matter what shift you're working. It's just like all about like discipline, time management, all of that plays a really big role. So I told him I used to be just like you, where I would literally sleep my entire day. And by the time I wake up, it's like I have to get ready for work. I barely even have time to make myself a meal, and it would just be bad. And then I'll get so depressed because I'm like, I feel so disconnected. And him and I were like connecting over that. He's like, oh my God, I feel so disconnected a lot of the time. I'm like, yeah, because you spent the majority of your time sleeping. And then it's like you miss out on the world and what's going on. And for me, for a really long time, I wasn't able to have weekends off since I was working weekends. And all of my friends, they're off on weekends. So I felt even more disconnected from everyone, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like everyone is out there like doing their own thing. And for me, I'm working weekends. And then when it's like my days where I'm off, it's like it was really hard for us to like even follow through making plans with like my friends and just other people. So that made me even feel even more disconnected. And that's when I felt so depressed in the past couple months. I was truly struggling mentally because of that. Along with like, I just had no discipline on my eating. Like I had really had an issue with binge eating, and I was just gaining so much weight. So imagine like everything's falling apart. Like you have no social life. All you do is work. And it's like, you're not even happy with your appearance and your weight. It's like, what the fuck, what enjoyment do you have? And like him and I were really having that deep conversation. I feel like that's what a lot of people are struggling right now in their 20s, when they're like really going through that depressive like time, where it's like it's really hard to find enjoyment in things when a lot of us are either on autopilot, a lot of us are just peered on autopilot, or there's just no fulfillment in anything. There's nothing to look forward to. That's why now maybe you even notice that like mentally I've been doing so much more better because of the fact that like I have my weekends off, which God bless. I was manifesting that for a long time. And the fact that I haven't even been working on my job for that long to have even gotten my weekends off is a blessing. And then two, I had to sit there and hold myself accountable, which I'm gonna get into the steps of like discipline and how I got to where I'm at now. But you really had to just end up holding yourself accountable. Like, you're gonna have to look in the mirror and be like, damn, bitch, like, all these bad habits are because of you, and you're the only person that can stop these bad habits. Like, there's no little trick or little whatever. Like, it really just comes down to you holding yourself accountable, and it's not a pretty feeling. And me and my coworker really had like a beautiful conversation. He's like, oh my God. He's like, there's times where like I'll literally get up and then I'll go back to bed and I just sat there for 2 hours. And then it's like, I'm like scrambling everywhere. Like I don't have like that time management. I'm like, trust me, I've been there. There's times I literally laid in bed for like 3 hours just scrolling on my phone. Or there's times I'm just sitting there laying there, like not even doing, just thinking about nothing or random things. And so much time has gone by. When like literally all it takes is a couple minutes to get like a task done. And that's what I told him. That's how I learned time management. I had to learn the beauty of what time management is, how long it takes me to accomplish a task. Like all of that really plays a role in how to develop discipline. Like when people tell me like, Ali, how the fuck do you do what you do now? I'm like, bitch, you don't understand all the nights I cried myself to sleep. Like, oh my God, I have no discipline. I had to sit there and fuck up. Like you had to be comfortable fucking up when it comes to like really like trying to reevaluate your life and try to develop that discipline. You're gonna have to fuck up because obviously you're struggling for a reason, because you haven't learned that skill of time management. You haven't learned the beauty of like, okay, if it takes me this long to accomplish a task, obviously when you accomplish a task, a lot of people have to go above and beyond to accomplish a task, and they feel miserable afterwards. You have to accomplish a task while also giving yourself a reward afterwards. Like you have to find your own way and like the beauty of like doing things and being able to enjoy building those habits, and that's just things that you learn. Like I had to learn all of this by trial and error. Like there's times I feel like a dumb bitch. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even do anything. Like I can't even accomplish the most simplest things. Like what the fuck? Like I'm a fuck up, and it's embarrassing. Like you're like, damn, I can't even fucking get my room like clean and in order. I can't even do my laundry. I can't even cook myself a meal or do X, Y, and Z. Even basic hygiene, skincare, like whatever. Like trust me, I've been there where I was struggling with all of that. I'm like, damn, I haven't showered in 2 days. I haven't even fucking do this. And like it's gross, but like it really gets to that point when you're that depressed where you're like, fuck. Like, I'm already depressed. Like, I work so much. And some people in that situation, it's like I'm working so much and I'm still broke. And I don't even have time to hang out with my friends because I'm working to afford it to live. Like, it's just so much, you know, especially with this damn economy now. I was very hesitant on even doing my OF, but I'm like, bitch, the way that shit is looking, mind your business. Mind your fucking business, okay? Like, damn. It's just tough out here, but it really did feel really nice having my coworkers say, like, Ali, like, you, like, inspire me to get my shit together. And I'm like, trust me, I had to fuck up and cry myself to sleep. So if I could prevent that for anyone and just give them the tips of, like, okay, this is how you're going to get your shit back together, get yourself in order, then here you go. Here's your little guide from me having to go through that pain and heartbreak of like, oh my fucking God, I'm fucking up till I'm like, one day it just snapped where I'm like, wow. Now I have my little routine in order. Of course, you're going to fall off. Like I just explained to you this week, I fell off, but I can easily get back up now. Beforehand, bitch, if I fell off, it's going to take me a while to even get back up. Now I can easily bounce back because I know what needs to be done and how to do it, and also find enjoyment while doing so, you know? So there's that. So the best way to approach reevaluating your whole life and getting yourself back in order and very disciplined and getting a lot of shit done while also being able to enjoy yourself is writing out your bad habits. Every single day when you wake up, if you even catch yourself procrastinating, just write it down. Like I told my coworker how I have a whiteboard near my bed and I literally wrote out stop doing and then bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Stop doing procrastinating on your bed for fucking hours while not even accomplishing something. Like if you're going to lay in your bed and you don't want to get up, at least be productive laying in bed. Like for me, I can like be exhausted, like I don't want to get out of bed. Okay, let me lay in bed and look up like video ideas or start writing out things I need to do for the day. Like you could still be productive while also giving yourself some like, you know, you can give yourself some rest or whatever. Like you can really, if it all just comes down to like what needs to be done, enjoyment, combining it together, bitch, you're good. Like you really are. Like there's times I'm like, oh my God, like I need to get my room all clean and like organized. Like that's just the way that I was raised. Because a couple months ago, girl, every time you went to my room, it looked horrendous. And that's just an ick of mine. Like I like when someone comes in my room and they're like, oh my God, Ali, you're such a clean, organized person. Like it's a compliment and it's something I try to establish in my life. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to clean my room while I also had to cook, while I also had to go to the gym, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to do all this and then have no enjoyment through the day. So what would I do? I'll blast, you know, my favorite music or a video that I've been wanting to watch while also cleaning. And then, or there's times where I'll even try to go the extra mile or putting a video on meals that I can make for the day. So I'm like, okay, I'll know what I can make later. But I'm also cleaning and being productive and getting that task that needs to get done, while also knocking two birds in one stone with that. And then after that, after I finish that video and I organize in my head, like, okay, this is what I'm going to make for lunch or dinner. Now let me put on my favorite song or my favorite podcast. Like you need to just find ways to get a task done with a really good reward afterwards. So you'll feel better about yourself. Like, okay, I got shit done. Like, I feel good. Like, you will feel so much better. Like, when I tell you, when people are like, Ali, you're so disciplined, I'm like, I had to cry and fail multiple times, but it's such a good feeling when you actually get it situated and together. We're like, damn, I cleaned my whole room and I already got lunch situated. I know what I'm going to make. And of course, trial and error. You have to like, you know, learn how to like, what are the quickest meal to make if you do have a day when you're so packed and busy. Like, all of that does come in time. But like, the best feeling in the world is like, okay, like I just cleaned my room. I know I'm going to make for lunch. Now I can go run to the gym and have a little workout. But then when I'm home, I already know I'm going to eat. So it's going to be boom, 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 shower, get ready for work. Boom, there you go. You got a lot of shit done. And it's not going to be perfect when you first start out. So you got to show yourself a lot of grace. Because, girl, when I first started, I was like, bitch, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm really failing. And I would feel so dumb. Like, oh my God, like I cannot, like, get my shit in order. When it's like the simple, like, you really do feel like it's the simplest tasks. But in actuality, like, if you're depressed or, like, you don't know time management, you don't know how to organize yourself, it's going to feel literally impossible. But I promise you, it's not fucking impossible. Like, coming from a bitch, like a dumb fucking bitch, like it could like be done. Like you just have to sit there and really learn, okay, how long does it take for me to accomplish this task? Like for me, I'll learn, okay, it can take me like 30 minutes if I'm really like quick with it and I don't procrastinate, I don't take any breaks of cleaning my room. 30 minutes. There's 30 minutes there, while also like watching a video. Like I said, if I'm watching a video and then like, cleaning and getting shit done, I'm like, okay, if I want to push out like an hour of my workout, I can do that. Well, then running home, showering, like let me make the quickest meal that is gonna still fill me up, but it's like very quick to make, so then I ate in the day, accomplish that like thing, because I really am trying to eat more. While also, when I'm like, cooking too, play some music or play whatever. So you're still finding fulfillment in these tasks. Because then I know that shit is annoying as hell. When you get off of work, you're like, bro, well, when you get off from the gym, you're like, I have to cook. Ugh. But then like I said, try to find enjoyment in the task that you're doing. Like, okay, I'm going to go cook something right now, but let me play some music while I'm doing so. Let me listen to that podcast that just came out or that YouTube video that just came out. Like you have to try to find some enjoyment or something to look forward to when you're doing a task. So you'll enjoy it more. You'll be more excited to do so. Like for example, like one could argue, oh my god, I gotta sit there and go to the gym and work out really hard for this like lingerie photo shoot. But for me, I was excited because I'm like, oh my god, like I loved how hard I trained that week for the gym, while also looking forward to how creative I can be during the photo shoot, like the makeup I was gonna do, my hair. Like you really just gotta change your mindset. That's really what it comes down to, changing your mindset when it comes to a task or a goal that you're trying to accomplish. And you have to find little things that you have to do that are gonna make the task more enjoyable, because once you find that out, you're gonna be good to go. And one thing that I feel like really does help a lot of people when it comes to like, okay, Ali, my issue is just getting out of bed. Like I can sit there and get through with my day, but it's just getting out of bed is the issue. And me and my coworker were talking about that. I'm like, that was my struggle. Because I've always been that type of person where if I need to do it, I gotta do it. But it was just like getting out of bed is the hardest part when you're exhausted and you're tired or you don't have any motivation. It's tough. So I would tell him the biggest game changer for me, ironically, the first episode of this podcast, that really horrible date that I went on, he said something to me that will always resonate with me, is the fact that he would be like, oh, what alarm clock do you use? And I'm like, my phone. He's like, I would get like the old fashioned ass alarm clocks and I'll put it on the other side of my room. So when you have it on the other side of your room, you're forced to get up and turn it off. And when you're forced to get up and turn it off, you have to develop that discipline to not get back in bed. Because once you develop that discipline to not get back in bed, you're already up. Like, you're already up. Like, you're going to be agitated. You're going to be irritated. Trust me. At first, I'm like, this is the worst advice anyone has ever given me. Because there's times I literally either ignore that alarm clock on the other side of the room, or I would go up, turn it off, then get back to bed. So, like I said, you had to learn through trial and error when it comes to that. But when you develop that discipline of like, okay, my phone is on the other side of the room and it's ringing. When I get up, you have to do some sort of thing. Like for me, when I get up, I'm like, okay, I'll turn off the alarm clock. And if I feel myself really tired and I want to go back to bed, I will go to my bathroom and put ice cold water on my face. Like I will force myself. Like you have to find your little thing. Or if you just start walking, like there's times I walk around my room because I'm like, Ali, do not get back in bed. Because if you get back in bed, bitch, you're going back to sleep. And we cannot afford that. And you just have to find your own groove of things. But like, it's odd that weird thing that he said to me actually really does work. Like, I would put my phone on the other side of the room, pretty far from my bed. So when I had to like get up and turn it off. And you just had to develop the discipline of like, you can't go back to bed. Like you cannot go back to bed. Get out of your room immediately if you have to. And just start taking on the easiest task. That's the best advice that I can give to anyone. Because if you're like, oh my god, I want to go to the gym really early, that sounds excruciating if you just woke up and you just got annoyed at the fact that you just got up to turn off your alarm clock and now you have to go to the gym. Like you're gonna be irritated. So for me, I'm like, okay, take on the easiest task. Like for me, if I'm like, okay, if I wake up really early because of my alarm clock and I have to go to the gym, I'll take on the easiest task. Let me go to my bathroom and start washing my face, start brushing my teeth, like the easiest task. And then before you know it, you're going to be awake and alert, and that exhaustion and that irritation is going to leave your body. And then you'll be like, okay, well, my ass is up now, so let me go to the gym, And there you go. You just got to find your own groove of things. And it's just not preached about enough how you're just going to fuck up in the beginning. And it's not going to be lovely. And I get why a lot of people give up. You know how many times I wanted to give up? Like, oh my God, fuck this shit. Like, I'm just gonna let myself rot in bed. Like, there's times I literally will like curse out God. Like, I'll pray to him. I'm like, motherfucker, like, there's no way that I could be disciplined. It's impossible. Like, how the hell can someone be disciplined? Like, when people I would see online of discipline, I'm like, you must have a lifestyle. Like, you must be so much more privileged and have more opportunities and more handouts than us people out here. You know, like, I would just make every excuse in the book. Like, there's no way that I could be like that person that's so disciplined, until I realized you just gotta fuck up. And you're gonna cry, you're gonna feel frustrated, you're gonna want to give up. But if you push through, just like with anything in life, if you're just consistent, even after you fail, you're gonna see the rewards. And you're gonna be like, damn, like, following through literally is just the key. And it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna suck. Like, I fucking cried so many nights. Like, there's so many nights I was praying to God, like, just give me discipline. Like, literally, I don't care about anything in the world. I'll be poor, I'll be everything, just give me discipline. Like, literally, all these other goals that I have mean nothing to me. Just discipline is so important. And it's in this generation, I feel like, really does lack discipline. I feel like that's why a lot of us are miserable, and a lot of us are sad, a lot of us are struggling mentally. But once you really just find your own recipe to how you can become disciplined and get your goals and tasks accomplished, you're gonna be set. Like, 2024 is gonna be your fucking year. And I really feel like I said, these past 2 months, I've been getting so much shit done, and I've been seeing so many results in a short time frame. Like, a lot of my shit on my vision board is already being accomplished. But trust me, it was not easy. I don't want anyone to ever look at me when I talk about my goals and how much I'm accomplishing and think, oh, this bitch had it easy, or I can't do that, I'm not capable. Bitch, you don't know what I had to go through to develop the ability to achieve these things. Like, you really don't. And it took a lot. Like, it took a lot, and it's going to take a lot. But if you're dedicated and you're willing to just see the process through, you're gonna be able to accomplish whatever you desire. And this year's gonna be your bitch. I hope this reaches someone out there who is really struggling with depression in their 20s. You know, whether if it's like loneliness, like, oh, like, I don't have any friends, like, everyone's so busy, like, I feel so disconnected from someone. I feel like that's something that happens a lot in your 20s. Like, you would just feel lonely, you'll feel disconnected from everyone. You're working so much, and there's just nothing to look forward to anymore. And I promise you, it's not gonna be like that forever. Like, literally, the majority of like the ending of last year, that's what my life felt like. Like, I feel so disconnected from everyone. I feel like I don't even go out anymore. Every single day it's just spent working, money. But like, I still feel poor. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. Whereas now, like, when I make money, it's like I feel like I'm accomplishing shit, and I can look forward to things, you know? Like, it's all about changing your mindset, but of course, like, just being open to knowing that where you are right now currently is just not your end destination. And I know that's the corniest shit ever. Like, you know, when they're like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, in a moment, you're like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like, I feel like the tunnel is closed off. Like, I feel like there's no light there. Like, I feel like I'm blind. Like, there's no fucking light that's visible. I get it. Been there, done that. But it's true. Like, if you just sit there and develop that mindset of like, where I'm at now, it may fucking suck and it may feel like fucking purgatory, but it's not the end. Like, I am in control of my life and every single thing that I do, and all I have to do is accept my responsibility in everything that's happening, realizing that I play a bigger role in all the fucking things that are happening. Because trust me, that's not beautiful. Knowing that, damn, like, I can't blame my depression, I can't blame my bipolar, I can't blame all these things on why I'm being so undisciplined and why nothing's getting done. You can't, that shit can only go so far. It really can. Like, that's when you gotta sit there, look in the mirror and be like, bitch, you gotta step it up. Like, you gotta be able to develop new tasks and new way of thinking how to accomplish a task, fuck up a bunch of times until you get it right. Once you do that, you'll get to where you want to be. And it's not gonna be overnight. It might not even be in the next month, maybe 2 months. For me, it took a couple months, bitch. It took a couple months of trial and error until I'm like, okay, I'm finally getting it. I'm finally on my groove. And it's difficult, but I really hope that this episode helps someone out there at least start to change their mindset and start getting their toes into like, okay, dipping their toes into like, okay, let me start getting uncomfortable and doing what needs to be done, and knowing that I'm going to fail a couple times and it's okay. Because you can't fail forever. Like, you're going to end up succeeding, because all that failure at one point is going to be like, okay, I tried that and it obviously didn't work. So that didn't work. Let's try a new way. And who knows? A new way you just tried is the fucking answer. Like, you just had to fail a bunch of times in order to understand what works and what doesn't. But yeah, I think that wraps up everything for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are listening to this on Spotify, make sure to give it a 5-star rating. Make sure to keep this lights on, okay? And if you are watching this on the podcast YouTube channel, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below your experiences on being depressed in your 20s, especially for the millennials out there. If there's anything like tips or experiences you can provide that can really help anyone out there that are watching or listening, make sure to provide that. And of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel because, bitch, I have a goal. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. That might be really fucking delusional, but bitch, you know I'm delusional and it's gonna happen. If I say it's gonna happen, bitch, it's gonna happen, okay? So I really appreciate it if you subscribe or even just comment down below. Like, I read everyone's comments. Yes, bitch, even the mean ones. If you leave a mean one, I'm gonna see it. But I appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch my episodes fully or listen to it fully and comment feedback. It always means so much to me. But I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next podcast episode. Bye-bye.